Today, we're going to crunch some numbers, specifically my no-buy year numbers. So if you're interested in me breaking down some real numbers about how my no-buy year went, then I hope you will keep on watching. Hi everyone. So today is a really exciting video. It's a little bit different. It's gonna get a little mathematical, shall we say. We're gonna crunch some numbers. We're gonna talk about the real logistics of what happened during my no-buy year. Some of these numbers are gonna be product numbers, numbers of empties I've used up. Some of these are going to be real financial numbers, and some of this is going to be incomplete data because I do have some content planned for the month of January that is going to talk more about my no-buy year. I haven't finished filming a few things that I should have by now. So this is going to be kind of an ever-evolving video, and I might update some things down in the description bar as we go. But basically, we're going to talk about how this entire year went in specifics. Like, we're not going to get into the emotional nitty-gritty today. I'm going to do a separate video on that. I still have that to do. I think I'm gearing up for it mentally. So I figured I'd go back to something that actually is a pretty safe thing for me and something that I enjoy, and that is crunching some numbers. You think it wouldn't be, considering I am in the arts. I am a classical concert pianist, but I've actually always had a little bit of a love for some numerical things. So I enjoyed putting together some of this data for you guys, and I really hope that you will enjoy watching it. But before we jump into it, for those of you that are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Natalia, and I think by the time you're watching this, I can no longer say that I am doing a year-long no-buy for the year of 2020 because we are in 2021. I'm still not. I'm still on a no-buy for another 24 hours and 7 minutes exactly, because I am filming this on December 30th at 11:53 p.m. and I'm looking at my computer for the time, which is right there. So yeah, I have one more day of my no-buy left, but regardless, if you guys are new to this channel, not too much is going to change in 2021. I will be putting myself on a very strict budget. I do still plan on developing my low buy and no buy content even further, and we are going to be a mix of a little bit of new products with still a lot of using up what I already have. So if you are on a no buy or low buy, or you've just started one for 2021, or you just want to be a little bit more mindful and more conscientious with your purchases, with your spending, and just with your relationship to the things you already own, then you've come to the right place. I really hope that you will consider subscribing and sticking around and joining our frugal family. And now let's jump in to my no-buy year by the numbers. Okay, so I've taken the inspiration for this video from Hannah Louise Poston and Tara from Terrible Decisions. I don't believe Tara posts on her beauty YouTube channel all that much anymore. I will still go ahead and link her channel as well as, of course, Hannah's channel. I believe Tara actually has a second channel now that deals with perfume. I keep meaning actually to check out that channel in greater detail. Perfume is something I do want to get a little bit more of in 2021, and of course you guys will see that in the upcoming year and how I end up spending my budget, but that's not what we're here for. As always,
I go off on tangents. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and please be warned, I am a chatter and I go off on tangents. So if you're not into that, and if you're into just straight cutting it to the point, I warn you, it might not happen.
I have had this video kind of in the back of my mind as something I would want to do basically as soon as I did start my channel, but unfortunately I didn't quite plan exactly which numbers I was going to calculate. I did not go into the specifics of how many makeup products I own overall, although I am considering doing a makeup inventory for 2021. So if you guys would be interested in that, can you please let me know? Because that's going to take a lot of time, counting everything up and going through that. And I know that that's going to be a really wise thing for me also to do, just to keep track of exactly where I need to continue being on a low buy or no buy. If you are interested in an inventory, please let me know. So I'm not going to be talking those numbers, but what we are going to discuss is some categories that I was always curious about when watching other people's videos like this. Also some things that for my own motivation conversation all throughout the year of 2020 I kept track of. So some of these are going to be real financial numbers. I know I haven't ever gotten into that. I know I've never actually opened up about my finances, and it's something I actually considered at the start of 2020, and then the pandemic happened, and honestly the year just ran away from me. So I am not like a closed book when it comes to that. It just didn't happen. I'm going to start that conversation a little bit today, and since I'm going to start it, it's quite possible that I will continue a real financial conversation with you guys into 2021. I know myself, once I sort of put that seed out there, then I am much more likely to actually invest myself into keeping track of things more carefully, and also it motivates me to do better in those categories. Let's start off with something I will talk more about in a different video. I am going to share all the items I've actually purchased, whether I should have or should not have, and just talk more about how I felt about my no buy. So that's coming. I do plan on filming that video in the next few days, so you guys will probably see it in the next week or two. But basically, let's talk about what I bought during my no buy year. As far as makeup products, I did not purchase anything with my own money. I did get a couple of gifts as far as makeup products are concerned. So we're talking like foundations and concealers and powders and eyeshadow and lipsticks and you know, all of that stuff. Zero. I did not purchase any of that with my own money. So for that, I'm actually really proud of myself, because I did kind of break my no buy in a couple of other areas, not significantly, which is why I never came on here making, you know, one of those videos like, oh my God, that's it, I've broken my no buy, because, you know, I didn't want to beat myself up over it. But yeah, as far as makeup is concerned, I can pat myself on the shoulder and say I did pretty well. For skincare, I didn't do quite as well as for makeup. I did actually purchase 8 items is what I bought.
2 of them I made a video about back in June. That was my birthday haul. 2 other items I've made a video about, and then they were 4 other, wait, was it really 4? 1, 2, 3, what was the 4th? What was the 4th item? Okay, wait, 2 eye creams, a sunscreen, Shiseido facial cottons, 2, so what the heck am I thinking of? Let's do this. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 8.
2 of those items I made a haul video on back in June. Those were a sunscreen and the Shiseido facial cottons that I bought myself as my birthday gift. 2 eye creams instead of 1. I made a video about that as well. I bought 2 hair care products. I was running out of shampoo and I hadn't shared that yet with you guys, but I will again in my year-end haul. And then I bought 2 more skincare items. Recently, I was in a Sephora store. They had a sweepstakes thing where if you scan your phone, you might or might not get a Sephora gift card that you have to use that day. And I happened to win a little gift card and bought 2 very affordable skincare products. So yeah, 8 products total that I can think of in preparation for this video. And if I've forgotten something that I remember after filming it, it will be included in my upcoming year-end final thoughts and final haul video. For fashion, I did buy myself 1 pair of shoes. It was something I had kind of planned for at the start of the year. I knew that I don't have too many summer shoes that fit me, that I wore a lot of them down, and I had made kind of a little bit of exception to my rule going into my no buy year, that the 2 things I was allowed to purchase if I see something on super sale or if I really desperately need was a pair of summer shoes like sandals or something to that effect, and a pair of jeans. I did see an amazing sale just a few weeks ago, and I did purchase a pair of shoes that is going to be used in this upcoming summer. I could have waited until January and done that with my budget, but I also knew that with my shoe size, I do have white feet. I knew that trying to find shoes in my size is extremely difficult, which is why I made those provisions in my no buy year rules to begin with. Like, I knew that it wasn't that I can walk into a store and always purchase my shoe size. It's a bit of a process for me to find shoes that fit. So I did buy myself 1 pair of shoes, and I also got some clothes as a gift. But other than that, I did not purchase anything else except for that pair of shoes with my own money. And then let's see, what else was on my no buy rule rules list. If I leave anything out, I'm sorry. I had books as a no buy category, and I did okay here. I cheated a little bit. I did end up getting a subscription to Vogue. I haven't had one in a few years. I used to subscribe to Vogue for decades, ever since I was a teenager. And honestly, once the pandemic hit, after a few months, I think this was sometime in August, I just decided I'm going to get Vogue again. And it's $12 a year. It's like $1 an issue when they're running a promotion and sale. I'm really happy I did that. I've been enjoying the magazines that have been coming in. It's the only subscription to a magazine that I get at the moment. I did sign up with the promise that they were going to start the subscription in September, which for those of you that read Vogue, you know that's their like huge fashion Bible of the year. And they didn't actually end up sending me that one. They started my subscription in October. I was supposed to get the September issue and a free tote bag. I got neither. So I am a little salty about that, but you know, you win some, you lose some. So yes, I did subscribe to Vogue. I bought a gardening book, not really a gardening book, more like a coffee table book of really gorgeous plants, because I got into gardening and houseplants a little bit this year thanks to the pandemic. And there was a book that I saw, I think it was in TJ Maxx or Marshall's, that was inexpensive and looked really, really beautiful. And it just made me really happy. And I knew I was not supposed to buy it, but this wasn't a book that's like a sit down novel or a nonfiction book. You know, this was more of a book with some informational pictures and names of various house plants, and I just couldn't pass it up. I'm sorry. And then another book that I did purchase was a cookbook. Again, something I need like a hole in my head because I have tons of cookbooks, and most of the time nowadays I just Google recipes. But I did it. It wasn't a novel. I justified it in my head. I'm a cheater. I'm sorry. In the books category, I did cheat a bit. I got 3 things. And then stationery, wrapping paper, and those sort of things, I did not purchase anything. I have a lot, and I still have a lot. I was good and did not bring in even more. So those are my numbers as far as the items I was not supposed to purchase and how I did. We just talked about things that I've brought into my life, and now let's talk about things that I have purged out of my life. Let's talk about some empties. So I'm gonna be looking down at my notes for this because it's a lot of numbers. And those of you that have been watching me for a while, you guys know that even though I actually am not against filming empties videos, they never make it onto the priority list of videos to be filmed. So I am perpetually late on them. I still have 2 empties videos to film from 2020. I do them in chunks of 2 months just so my empties bins don't overflow, but so that I have more than like 5 items to show you guys. So I have not yet filmed my September, October empties as well as my November, December empties. So these numbers are not going to be 100% accurate because I did have to estimate the last 4 months out of the year, but I did go through my bins and counted the items that I am going to talk about in my next empties video. And then for November, December, I only have 1 day of the year left. There are a few random products in my bathroom and here on my desk that haven't made it into the empties bin. So as I said, please take these numbers with a little bit of a grain of salt, but they're pretty close. And I figured they're close enough for me not to have to put this video on hold for the next 2 weeks while I get around to filming those 2 empties videos. So in the year of 2020, altogether, I have used up 154 items. Now, I've watched other people's empties and year-end finales for project pans and things like that, and my numbers pale in comparison to a lot of people, but to me somehow that is still quite staggering. Like 154 bottles or packets or whatnots. I think that's quite good. Like that's a lot. Not to mention that really makes me feel high maintenance. Like that really makes me feel like I use a lot of crap. But yeah, so out of those 154, 142 are skincare, body care, hair care, and then only 12 are makeup items. Now, as far as numbers, this is where we get into some real financial numbers for these empties. And again, the last 4 months are estimates based on my previous 8 months. Total retail value, I have used $3,264 worth of empties Empties. Because I am a deal hunter, I almost never buy things full price. I love TJ Maxx, I love Marshalls. I will usually only shop sales at places like Sephora and Ulta and wherever else. So because of that, the total approximate value, if you watch my Empties, you know certain things I don't remember exactly what I spent on, but the total approximate value was $985. That number I can't promise is accurate, but the first number, the $3,200 or so that I would have spent had I purchased all of those items full price, those are legit numbers that I looked up on the internet. So that's a lot of money to use up in one calendar year on products that we put on, well, by we, I mean I put on my face to make myself look better and feel better. So yeah, that was a bit, eye-opening. I'm actually really glad that I kept financial track and item track, and I did my Empties videos this year. And of course, what's even more eye-opening is despite not purchasing for the most part, my apartment is still overflowing, of course, with makeup, because I didn't really go on a decluttering journey yet this year. Might be coming for 2021. Skincare, I can see my cabinet definitely has dwindled itself down, but because I haven't done an inventory yet, I don't know what that actually means. There's still a lot in there. There are still certain categories that I will not right away be purchasing in this upcoming year until I use a lot more of those items. So it is just mind-boggling how much crap I had going into 2020. Since we've been talking about acquiring and getting rid of, let's talk about some stores that we usually acquire from. I'm going to talk about just Sephora and Ulta because I honestly did not feel the need to go through my TJ Maxx and Marshalls purchases this year. I did shop there quite a bit for other things other than, my no buy category items. I also did purchase a few things for my giveaway that happened a couple months back, and I have already purchased a few things for my upcoming 500 subscriber giveaway, which I will be planning and filming in the next few weeks. So I'm leaving TJ Maxx and Marshalls out of this. Going into 2020 was a little different than the prior years because in 2019, whether I realized it or not, I was already on a low buy journey because I knew I could not keep going and sustain what I was doing in 3, 4, 5 previous years. But there were a few years where I was Sephora Rouge, so we're talking minimum of $1,000 worth of purchases. Going into 2020, I was not Rouge, I was a VIB, but I was on the higher end of VIB. I didn't reach 1,000, but I wasn't right at 350 either. And then Ulta, I believe 2019 was also already the first year where I kind of scaled things back a bit because I know this year, sometime in 2020, I lost my platinum status and I didn't realize it. And with that, I also lost all my points because I let them expire because I never had to think about that before. I have always been platinum with Ulta as soon as I started shopping there, which was maybe about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I never reached their top tier, but I have always been Ulta Platinum. So I could always get the free shipping during their 21 days of beauty sales. I was gathering points all throughout 2018 and 2019, not spending any of them. And I was really hoping actually to use some of those points for gifts this year. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And yes, I am still a bit salty, even though this happened months ago. Maybe I got an email from Ulta saying, hey, your points are about to expire. Maybe you should do something about it. Maybe it was my fault, but I never saw that email come in and I lost close to 3,000 points, maybe even more. I can't remember. I just remember it was like close to $200 worth of point value. Anyway, with that little rant out of the way, basically what I'm here to tell you is I did make Sephora VIB again, but probably half of those purchases, if not more, were gifts. My account actually says I have spent $374 this year. However, only 137 of those dollars, and I am including the tax, were items I purchased for myself. Everything else was either gifts for friends and family or giveaway items. That is a first for me in years, because I just told you guys, at least 3 years I would make it to Rouge status. This is very, very impressive for me, and I am super proud of that I only spent $137 the entire year on items that for the most part I needed. And then as far as Ulta is concerned, especially after they took away all my points and I became very salty, I could have used my 20% off coupon that came in to purchase some gifts for friends, and I just chose not to. I just chose to spend my money elsewhere this holiday season. So I have spent $0 at Ulta. Other than that, I'm trying to think, where did I shop this year? I did, for the very first time ever, shop the Nordstrom anniversary sale. I didn't buy anything makeup or beauty related. I bought some towels, some presents, I bought some clothing for some special people in my life. Other than that, I didn't really do all that much shopping this year. And granted, if I wasn't on my no buy, this would have been one of those years where I wouldn't have shopped too much regardless, because 2020 was a rough year, and I am a small business owner. I have a small little music school, and I am a concert pianist. My industry, as many industries, and I'm not over here trying to cry and say, oh, poor me, because I know everyone to some extent has had it rough in 2020, but definitely the music industry took a huge hit. All performances were canceled and all in-person lessons were canceled for a long time. I definitely lost a lot of clients. I definitely lost a few important concerts. Yeah, it wouldn't have been a killer shopping year for me, but I also know it may have catapulted me into more debt, because I probably would have gone to online shopping as a bit of a solace. And I know a lot of people did that. I'm sure a lot of people watching this did that. But yeah, I have a feeling I maybe would have not gone off the deep end, because I've been there. I've been there many times in my life. I have definitely had issues with shopping. So because I am more aware of that and more conscious of that, I think I would have been, at least I hope, I would have been somewhat responsible. There's the word I was looking for. But there's no guarantee. So this definitely could have gone in a very, very different way had I not been on my no buy, and had I not been in some ways answering not only to myself, but in my mind to you guys. So thank you. A lot of these numbers that I am spitting out at you are all of our joint efforts, not just mine. Anyway, before I get emotional, let's get back into the numbers. I just mentioned the word debt. So let's tackle that. Let's tackle some real financial numbers, something I have not done on my channel, even though I talked about it back in January or February of 2020. My goal for this year was to try to bring down my consumer debt, and I didn't do quite as well as I hoped, and the pandemic is partially to blame for that, and I am of course partially to blame for that, but I did make a dent, and it is something I am continuing to do in 2021. My debt goes in 3 categories. I have consumer debt, I have student debt, and then I have some business debt, and that is some instruments that I financed when I opened my school. So those 3 categories combined totaled to almost $60,000 worth of debt at the start of 2020. And I am happy to say, even though I actually was hoping to do a little bit better this year, I am still happy to say that I have reduced my total debt this year by $9,287. The breakdown as far as category by category is I have paid off $2,942 worth of consumer debt. As far as my school loans, I am $2,299 less than I started the year with. Now that is mostly just through making my minimum payments. I didn't really do too much over that, especially once 2020 became the crapshoot that it was. And then the last piece of debt that I have is my instruments at the school. I started this year with $18,624 worth of piano debt. I actually have it just under pianos in my notes. And I finished off the year with having paid off $4,412 of that debt. I think as far as the order of hierarchy and priority for me going into 2021 right now is definitely continuing to work on my consumer debt and then continuing to work on this piano financing debt. So those are some real numbers. Those are some real numbers. And for somebody like me living in New York and doing what I do, those are really large numbers. I just want to put that out there because I know we are all very different when it comes to where we are financially. I know that some people making less than I do probably can spend more than I do. And I also know that some people making a lot more than I do can spend a lot less for varying reasons. I also know that there are people out there that are financially very secure and very stable at their points in their life, and that is great. I'm sharing these numbers not so that you guys can compare your financial status to mine, which is probably why so few people share real legit numbers, because all of it has to be taken with a grain of salt. You don't know the rest of my life, right? You don't know what my full finances are, and it's very hard to kind of plug these random pieces into the puzzle that would make more sense for you guys. So yeah, that's why I just wanted to kind of add that for me these are large numbers, because you know, my financial health is not at a place where I can easily spend. I am in a position in my life where I have to be very, very careful with my finances, and I don't have, you know, a healthy savings account to fall back on or anything like that. I figured this would just give you guys some perspective on why this no-buy was important, why going into 2021 a budget will be very, very important, and just why I'm trying to work on myself and why I'm trying to shift my spending habits and shift kind of my emotional attachment to shopping, because I have a lot of other areas in my life that I need improvement on, and I need to have a healthier relationship with a lot of parts of my life, including the financial parts of my life. With that, let's talk about one last category that is an exciting category because it has to do with my YouTube channel. I started my YouTube channel a little less than a year ago. I posted my first video on January 12th of 2020, and since then, as of filming this video today on December 30th, just 13 days shy of being on YouTube for a full year, I have posted 54 videos. That's not counting this one because it'll be going up, I'm pretty sure, in 2021. Now, while that's not a lot for some channels, for me, that's a pretty healthy number. I definitely wanted to commit to a minimum of one video a week. There were a couple of weeks throughout the year that I did not follow through on, and there were kind of some gaps in my posting schedule, sometimes for 10 days. I think 2 weeks was the largest time I did not post, but I knew this would be tough for me for multiple reasons. First of all, aside from some time during the pandemic while I was trying to figure out how to switch to online learning, I usually work 6 days a week, and you know, I run a small business, and while I am not always the hardest worker, and I know that, and I'm working on that as well, I definitely have my moments of weakness where I just don't feel like doing anything. I am busy. I do have a lot going on. So I knew that I was not going to be able to commit to 3 videos a week. That's still not gonna happen for a really, really long time, if ever. I would like to get to a point where I have streamlined the YouTube creating process to a manageable amount of time where I can put out 2 videos in a week. So I do hope to see this number go up next year if possible. But honestly, I will not be mad if I can consistently create 1 video a week, because I am the least, and I know I say this a lot, I don't know if I've mentioned this a lot on camera, but I know behind the scenes to friends I've made here on YouTube, I say this a lot, but I legit am the least technologically capable person I know. It takes me so long to transfer files, edit, export files. Every time any small thing happens that throws a curveball my way, it takes me hours to figure things out. For me to upload a single video is hours and hours and hours of work. And some of that work I enjoy and some of it I don't. I am not really a techie person. So it's, you know, it's like, well, why are you doing this? Because I really enjoy the aftermath of posting the video. I really enjoy the comments. I really have enjoyed making friends. And I know that in order to actually continue reaping the benefits of those things that I really, really like, I have to first put in the work and actually create the content. And I don't mind filming. I still feel awkward. I still feel like I'm not very eloquent, that of course I am very long-winded, that I should try to really be more precise and concise. But overall, I really do enjoy the filming process. I just don't like the techie stuff. So yeah, 54 videos is what you guys have seen from me in 2020, and I'm okay with that. And we'll see if that number will go up in the future. As far as other YouTube numbers, this is where it's really exciting for me, because as of today, I have 529 subscribers. 529 people have decided that I am remotely interesting enough for you guys to consider subscribing to my channel and watching my videos. And that's mind-blowing. That is legit mind-blowing. I mean, do I want to grow? Yes. Do I want to get to that 1,000 subscribers and those 4,000 watch hours and get monetized one day? Yes, of course I do. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. And I think almost everybody would be lying if they said they didn't. But I am so thrilled that I made it to over 500 subscribers in my first year of being on YouTube. I really didn't know how this year was gonna go. There was a part of me when I started filming in January, I thought, well, maybe I could get to 1,000 in the first year. And then of course, once I realized how much work it is, how slow going the actual process of me uploading the videos for you guys is, I realized, well, that's not realistic. That's really not gonna happen, because in order to get there, I would have had to, I think, post a lot more and create more content, and I just physically couldn't do that. So then I kind of had this goal of 500 subscribers. I wasn't even sure if I was gonna get there. And then some creators were so kind to give me shout outs and spread the word. And I really specifically have Mandy Lee to thank. She is at over 40,000 subscribers, and she was kind enough to give me a shout out in one of her fairly recent videos that she put up within, I want to say, like the past month and a half. And that really did boost my channel. Thanks to Mandy, I gained over 150, if not over 170 subscribers, which proportion wise is huge for a channel my size. If I haven't publicly thanked Mandy Lee in a previous video, I can't remember honestly right now if I have, because December was a bit of a blur. Then here I am thanking Mandy Lee, because that was just amazing of her. So yeah, 529 of you guys that are here, and I am grateful to absolutely every single one of you. Some of you guys have become very good friends by now. Some of you I have loved just interacting with down in the comments, and some of you are silent watchers, and I am so grateful for every single one of you as well. But please feel free to not be silent. I would love that. And then some other numbers that I thought would be fun are watch time numbers, because you guys know that YouTube algorithm, it wants the 1,000 subscribers, and I'm halfway there, but it also wants 4,000 watch hours, and I'm definitely not remotely close to that. So as of today, you guys have watched my videos for a total of 692 hours. It's interesting because, of course, in comparison to like the 4,000 that's needed, that seems like such a small number, right? 692 hours. But then I think about it in perspective to our life and how we have 24 hours in a day. And suddenly that number is a lot more meaningful. 692 hours is a lot of time. I know not everybody watches every single video on anybody's channel, right? And almost none of us see a channel with 100,000 subscribers get 100,000 views on every single one of their videos. It just doesn't happen. While I know that there are 529 people that that are subscribed to my channel, I also know that most of you guys don't have time to watch every single video of mine. So the fact that you are giving me even a minute or 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 20 minutes a day, a week, a month, that's huge. That's huge. 692 hours. That's a lot of days of all of your time combined together. So thank you for that. Speaking of watch time and views, the other number that I thought would be really fun to share is the number of total views, the number of times people have clicked on my 54 videos this year. And that number is so cool. 6,379 clicks have happened on my channel throughout 2020. 6,379 times somebody has clicked on my video. That's amazing. And yes, of course, 54 of those clicks are probably me. It's perfectly fine to click on your own video to get the ball rolling. I mean, if you watch any YouTube channels that help you through how to grow on YouTube, that's one of the pieces of advice everybody will give you is go watch your own video when you post it and go give yourself a like. And if you're a creator, do it. I mean, why not, right? After all, the YouTube algorithm is something we are all here fighting against or working with, depending on how you want to look at it. So yes, I understand that at least 54 of those 6,379 clicks have been my own, but let's face it, that's a lot of clicks that you guys have provided me with, and I am so, so grateful. So with that, that's where I think I'm going to leave my year in numbers of being on YouTube during my no-buy year. In case it was not obvious throughout this video, I just want to thank you guys, and I am just so grateful that you have made all these numbers possible for me, because you really have. You truly have. You have held me accountable in my own head. I know that you guys have busy lives, and I'm sure you're not thinking, oh, I wonder how Natalia is doing on her no-buy every single day. But the fact that I knew that I would come back on camera each one of those 54 times and have to let you know that I'm doing a no-buy for the entire year of 2020, it manifested itself every single time, and it really helped me stick to that no-buy. And the fact that 529 of you are here providing me with all of those clicks and comments and support and love and friendship and inspiration, I'm just so, so, so grateful. So grateful. So with that, I want to thank you for your time. If you haven't already, I would love to see you subscribe and continue this journey, which might not be a no-buy journey any longer, but will still be a very conscious and low-buy heavy journey throughout 2021. And I just hope that you guys are doing wonderfully and that 2021 has started really well for you. And I hope that you are continuing to stay safe, that you're continuing to take care of yourself and those around you. And I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye.